Welcome to the MyBusiness Podcast, where we sit down with local businesses and we talk about who they are, where they come from, and what inspires them to be in business.
Hello and welcome to the MyBusiness Podcast. My name is Adam Bell. I'm your host, and today I've got in the studio with me Daryl Bancroft from Alpha LED and StrikeHold Australia. Welcome, Daryl.
Thanks, Adam. Pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you today because we've got some very interesting stuff to talk about and some stuff that you do that it seems nobody else is able to or can do. Mate, start by telling me your story. How did you, the story behind the establishment of Alpha LED, what you do, how you do it?
Okay, well, for me, it's all about uniqueness, and we're just different in the way most people go that way, we go that way. Often we get challenged, and if somebody says to me it's a challenge, that to me is, and that's what got me into this in the first place. So, printer by trade. So I came to Australia as a skilled printer, stayed with that for a few years, but kind of got bored with that. Got into the pool industry and learnt quite quickly that, pool plumbing, pool maintenance, there's a problem with saltwater chlorinators and things like that out there. And then I found pool lighting. It was like almost kind of like a swear word in the industry. It was like, no, don't touch pool lights. I'm like, okay. So again, everybody's going over there. I'm going over here, but I'm now doing all my research on pool lighting. So we started playing in the industry, looking after the market leading products. Okay, they did the job. Nothing seems to last. So I came up with a solution, and this is back, 18 years ago now. So we could see all the halogen light. LEDs didn't even exist back then. And we had a solution where we could make a halogen last twice as long as anybody else. Bit of a process, but again, that worked for us. But that led me into the development of what's LED, and I sort of very, very early stages of LED, we started to bring in the LED cluster, which was the old, what they call DIP, which is a very small, shallow beam, but it lights up a pool. And then back then, 18 years ago, it was quite...
That was good back then.
It was very good back then because all you had before was a white light. Suddenly we're putting colour into the equation. So now you start putting blue lights in, and that was the main colour back then. And it just started to get a bit of a trend, and I'm starting to get people go, well, can you do mine? And we started playing with a few hotels and resorts back then, which was really good for us because that's where our key market is. Hotels, resorts, strata buildings, especially when they got multiple lights, because nowadays we're all colour. So, and you got community things, breast cancer awareness, St. Patrick's Day, you want to go green, pink for, breast cancer type thing. So we now can set our pool lights to do that, and they can be whatever colour. From the flick of a switch or a phone app, it's doable. So we went into the stage of developing our own pool light. So So here's a light that we designed, which is fully resin sealed. It's got a little syringe on the back that we injection resin seal that. So water cannot get into that. So that's what we do. And when we picked up from that, that's a typical light that we would come into normally. And so
look at the corrosion there.
It's fully corroded. You wouldn't see that, but the question you get from the customer is, my lights don't work. Okay, so we go out.
There's the reason why.
There's your reason why. So that's why we resin seal. So we nowadays, we have a solution for all of these lights where we can pull them apart and we can put what we call an LED insert. It's kind of unique to us. Nobody else does an insert. They'll sell you a complete new light.
Which will corrode again.
Yeah. So same problem, just 18 months, 2 years later. We've got lights in the field now that are 10, 12 years old, still pumping away. Technology goes a lot quicker than what it ever has done now. So one of our lights, it's 10 years old, wouldn't have a patch on what we can put in now. So we quite often do upgrades, but it's kind of pleasurable still going to the customer and the light still works. And then we put the new one in and they go, wow, that really is sensational. So, but just to give you an idea, this is a market leader. Their LED chipset is just in the middle there. And when we populate, we fill the whole light. So that now is 300% more output in the same case, customer comes home and they sort of go, how did you do that? So again,
and it's not going to corrode either and last.
Yeah. So it's all about development. And when we designed our lights, we went to hell and back to start with, of course, as you do as a manufacturer.
Of course.
Resins, cracking, all the issues with lights not synchronizing, because when we start to go into color, you need to have every single light in the pool. We've just done a big hotel, the Intercontinental up at Sanctuary Cove. There's 22 lights in that pool. So they need to talk to each other and do the same thing.
Yep.
So for us, it's about getting that right. So that was a design in itself. Just the synchronization was a really important, you're putting your engine into that light. It's got to have reliability. And if you're getting facilities managers that are using your products, it's good for them to know that, it's an easy auto synchronization. If one of them goes out, it's very easy to bring them back in again. So
amazing what goes into it. Now, you were telling me before we jumped on air here today something that blows me away. You're able to change pool lights while the water's still in the pool.
Yep.
Tell me how you do that.
So most people know me and they know that I run two businesses, and they say, how do you do that and how can you balance one against the other? And it's completely opposite. They balance with each other and they work with each other. And the reason being is we've got another business called StrikeHold, which is a dry lubricant. So when I say dry lubricant, people sort of look at me and go,
dry lubricant?
It's an oil. How can it be dry?
Yep.
I went through the same when I discovered it myself, because when I discovered it, I was looking for an underwater solution and I found an underwater drill. And that worked, but it was called a Nemo. It was about $3,000 and it wasn't very reliable. So you'd go in the pool and you could drill, because what the point of difference that we have when we can go in and we don't drain the water is we need to be able to drill under the water, because normally the brackets are broke. With all these retros that you put in, quite often you've got to put a new bracket on the wall because the cleaner grabs it and sucks it and kids pull it off, that type of thing. So you put your bracket in, well, you need to drill. You can't drill unless you drain. So we took that to another level where we can drill with the water in. Just means we got to put a weight belt, wetsuit, goggles, and scuba, or we're pretty good at holding our breath. So used the Nemo for a few years, didn't really like the performance, went through a few of them, quite expensive. So then I did a bit of research and I found StrikeHold. So we found this online and it blew me away. There's a guy, the CEO of the company, just on a tacky old video, he says, where in the world can you get an electric drill and do this? And he drops it into a tank of water. And I'm looking at him going, are you for real? So it was midnight, I think it was. So I actually got his number and I called him and said, I'm just watching a video and I like what you're doing, but how's that possible? Like, why are you not dead?
You're in disbelief. Yep.
Yeah. So to me, he said, I'll send you 2 bottles over. He was typical, and I went, okay. So I got the product, got my battery drill. I was pretty excited, but I thought this is going to be the end of my battery drill. It's never going to work. And I sprayed it and I sort of half reluctantly put it in the water and I'm in the pool.
I hope it was an old one.
No, it was a pretty good one.
Okay.
Because he was confident.
Leap of faith.
He told me, his exact words said, if it breaks your drill, I'll buy you a new one. I'm like, that's pretty confident. And he'd sent me these free of charge. And he just said, you'll like it. So long story short, it worked. And we've been using the product ever since. So we get a lot of the trades guys now that buy this to protect their power tools because they're out on site. It doesn't just protect from wet and moisture. It protects from dust and dirt. So we've got a guy that does tiles and grinder and all that. And he's got dust continually going into his power tool. If he coats it with that, the dust won't go in. It'll try and sit on the top, but this puts a barrier on whatever you spray. So it's very unique. It's undiscovered, and people just get blown away. And when they see us with a drill in the pool, they quite often go, "Did I just see you drilling underwater? How do you do that?" And then you tell them about StrikeHold.
The applications for that just must be unbelievable, immense. The amount of things you could use that for, which I want to get to, and I've got a million questions about that. But I just want to wind back a minute before we go there. To be able to change a pool light underwater, that must give you a lot of benefit to your commercial customers who need one or two changed, where they don't have to drain the pool, which must be a huge expense and, in time, effort and money. If you can come in and do that without the need to drain the pool, that just must be such an advantage for them.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a deciding edge against our competitors because, first of all, they bring the market leading light in, which is a lot less output than ours. So not only are we offering them a solution that nobody else does, we give them a brighter light, we give them better synchronicity, so the lights stay stable more, and we do it quite quickly as well. Like a standard pool light with one of our competitors takes about 3 times the time to fit to one of ours.
Really?
Because we're putting inserts in, so the light's already there, the fixture's already on the wall, we're just pulling it to bits. And we're retrofitting it with, it's like putting a BMW engine in a Hyundai.
So it's quicker, cheaper, easier.
Yep.
And you can do it without draining a pool.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Because people don't know. The same as this. So both of my businesses, people don't know. So when they find out about us, they go, "Are you the guy that changes the pool lights without draining the pool?" Yeah. So that's become, and now this is being called magic lube. Are you the guy that got this magic lube that we can sort of spray anything and it's sealed? Yeah. So the saying with this is the only people not using StrikeHold are the ones that don't know about it. Yep. And it's so true. Like it's,
well, as I said, I do have a million questions on that, but you've had some very big clients in terms of your pool lighting, McDonald's, Up Property Group, Mantra Hotels. Can you tell me about a time that using StrikeHold and using the advantages that you have with your lighting system that saved a big customer a lot of money?
Yeah, we just did one at the moment actually. That big hotel, they had boat lights in the pool. Now they didn't know they were boat lights, but straight away I've gone along and went, this is a lagoon pool, so huge resort pool. Now, the lights were coming out about 3 meters into a 50-meter pool. So you can imagine it looked pretty from the far end of the pool, but it didn't light the pool. So there's no illumination. There's no real context to it. It's just that they could have pretty lights. So no purpose. So we've gone in, and one of the things we do, we go out at night. So you buy a car, you drive it first, you test drive. So we go out with our battery pack and a series of 2 or 3 lights. This particular one, we took our new slimline light, which is a 30-watt output, so it's very powerful. And I've got the CEO in Singapore looking at what we're doing, via the phone, and we put the 30-watt in, and he's just gone, "I want that." And I'm going, "You want 22 of these? It's going to light it up." And he went, "Yep, that's what we want." So they've gone from boat lights that didn't do much to extreme output. So we've actually wired them up so that they can run 50-50.
Yep.
Because in case, because I think
it's too much.
It's too much, but that's what they want. So, and that's the benefits that we can give them, is that you can wire it in series to do that.
Okay. So you've come across StrikeHold as part of your Alpha LED pool lighting business.
Yep.
But surely once you're now the distributor here in Australia, you've obviously found a whole heap more applications for this. Tell me about some of those.
Yeah, so
it could be anything, couldn't it?
Yeah,
the mind boggles.
I'll give you a really good story. That one day I thought the guy had phoned me he phoned me and he said, "You've changed my life," and I said, "Okay, sorry, but I think you may have the wrong number because this is Daryl from StrikeHold and Alpha LED," and he said, "No, StrikeHold, you've changed my life," and I went, "Okay, so what have I done?"
What?
And he said, "I go to the beach with my family. And I've got 2 kids and a wife, and they jump into the water and they go and have a swim. I have to stay on the promenade." And I'm like, "Okay, so why would that be?" He said, "Because I've got 2 prosthetic legs. I'm a veteran. I'm a war veteran." So I went, "Okay." So he said, "I'm standing you now. I'm talking to you. I'm in the ocean. I'm stood in the ocean because I spray my legs with StrikeHold." And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
I had tears in my eyes. It was such a pleasurable. So then we've gone into, to find out the prosthetics industry can use it. The jewelry industry can use it because it's all, it protects metals. Look, where do you start with the applications? There's
anything to do with water, boats, jet skis.
Yep.
I think you've mentioned to me there's a use for jet skis that a lot of people are using it for now.
Yes. So a lot of the other products that are out there, which are good at what they do, they're all designed to do what they do, but from what we've seen, they're sticky and they're oily. And this is a dry lubricant. So
I still can't get my head around that.
Yeah. So you imagine if you could shrink wrap something that sealed it that well that when you get your car waxed and you get all the bubbles and it's just such a different product that it's hard to explain how it works to people until they see. But once they spray their jet ski, they go out on the ocean and it's just getting splashed. It's not getting soaked with water now because you've got a waterproof membrane across it.
So they put it across the entire jet ski?
Pretty much, yeah. They cover everything now. It's there's not much we can't do with all plastics, all rubbers, all your metals.
Because it comes in a spray as well?
Yep. So you don't need a lot of product. So if we're talking that we've got a pole or something, and it's, say, 3 meters high, and you spray it at the bottom, it will crawl at least a third of the way up that pole. It capillary crawls.
Tell me a bit about how it was invented or how it was found. You're telling me about the American military.
Yep. So developed by the American military for US battle zone. So it was designed so that soldiers could actually spray a 15-meter magazine, which is attached to a semi-automatic rifle. Now, these guys, we're talking battle zone, so they're going out and, they're learning to sniper with 15 meters. That's a pretty heavy weight. But what they were doing was coming out of mud swamps and crawling through sand and dust and dirt because the magazines are going to be protected with the StrikeHold. It stops anything sticking or jamming. And David Petraeus ran the troops through Afghanistan. He said 28,000 rounds without a misfire. He said this product is not only amazing, it saved a lot of soldiers' lives as well. So it's got some really good stories from the military, and a lot of the ex-veterans now are looking at this. So we've recently set up an affiliate program now so that we can offer people to get involved and have a bit of fun with the product because it
sounds like once you use it and you understand what it can do, how it does it, it blows your mind and you want to share that with everyone.
Yeah, and we love having passionate people that like to use it and experience because it's so different. You can do so many things with it, but it's pleasurable when they come back with a really nice review or, wow, like I did my garage door, it was really noisy. And I go, okay, so how was it after you'd done it? Can't even hear the garage door going up now. It's quietened everything down. So and because it's a dry lube, it's not going to attach dust or dirt or grime. A lot of the competitors' products have got, they get all glugly and oily and you've got to clean them out. And
well, see, I was going to ask who is StrikeHold for, but I think I know the answer, and that's everybody. I mean, the thought I had was everybody's got a can of WD-40 in their garage. Yeah. Just about everybody.
Yeah, and I bet you don't know the stats of WD-40 on the amount of people that use it, because this blew me away. Like I do my research with my competitors. 88% of the world population use WD-40.
Well, that just backed up what I said. I think everyone's got one in their garage, but there isn't any reason everyone shouldn't have StrikeHold in their garage to be doing essentially the same thing and so much more.
The only people that are not using it are the ones that don't know about it. So that's exactly right. That's our message. So with our new affiliate program now, we're giving people that opportunity to get involved, have a bit of a side hustle, and we've already picked up a really good guy in WA now who started doing that, but he's now creating an income, and he's my manager in WA now that looks after that, and he's very passionate. And he's now being able to introduce it to all those people that are in the shipping yards and One of our main goals is to take this to Surf Life Saving and sponsor the nippers. So we want to make
Great idea.
all of their vehicles save a lot of rust and corrosion, but they need to stick to probably spraying them once a week.
Yep.
That's the only criteria they need. And then they will save landfill, because every 3 years they change their patrol vehicles. They just fall apart. They just
Really?
turn into a rust trap. So if they spray it once a week with this, the only maintenance will be the engine service.
So in terms of equipment around saltwater, it does need to be reapplied quite regularly.
if it's something like the Surf Life Saving, yes. Depending on what it is, like we've got street lights that are on the beachside, which, we've got manufacturers that go out about every 12 months. Well, they used to go out every 2 months. So, they've saved 10 months of labour, productive labour. So that's a lot of time.
Huge.
So, yeah.
Look, through your pool lighting business and StrikeHold, I can see just so many advantages for everybody out there. And look, I was surprised, I asked you how much, a bottle of StrikeHold was, and was surprised at, how cost effective it is. It is like a bottle of anything you can have in your garage ready to use for anything. But the commercial applications are just amazing. And the fact, look, finish off by telling us about your affiliate program. How does that work? And, after that, I'd like to get some details, because there would be that many people out here listening who would, A, want to be interested in your pool lighting and the services you offer there, whether that be commercial or private homes, but also the affiliate program for StrikeHold, or just getting a bottle and giving it a go.
Yep. Well, the first thing I'd like to tell you that you'll probably be shocked. Every other CRC in its range, it's similar to this, is extremely flammable. And we're not flammable. So that blows people away. When we get mine sites inquiring, they often say, "Excuse me, did you just say non-flammable?" Because that's not possible. Not with what you say this does. It's got it. And no, it's non-flammable. I've had to do a video of me putting fire out to prove it, because people didn't believe me. So I've now got a video on YouTube that shows me with a spray bottle. Now, normally, if you did that with WD-40 or one of the competitors, you've got that propane bomb going, So it's, but yeah, look, the affiliate program is out really to anyone who's got a bit of a sales background that knows good product will sell. They've got to believe in the product. We like to get people that play with the product, test and trial before they go out and on sell. So we've just had a really good review from the Sport and Shooters Association in Australia. We got an endorsement from one of the firearms chief officers up there, and he loves this product. So they're the type of people that he will then go into more of an influencer role instead of an affiliate. But he started as an affiliate, sold it to a lot of his mates. Pretty much anyone that comes through the Firearms Academy now gets a bottle of StrikeHold. So. But that's just one person, Lifeguards would be good for it, because they're going to be using it on their vehicles.
Yep.
Anybody that's in bicycles, BMX, mountain bike. At the moment, we're working with the e-scooters. There's a big problem with moisture getting into the little battery packs and the electronics. We saved a chlorinator manufacturer $120,000 a year by fixing their issue. So we're now working with the e-scooters to try and combat that, because that's a worldwide problem. Water gets in and not designed as well as they could be. So if you put this on, it doesn't matter about the design, because the water can get in. This is heavier than water. So it goes in, it will take the barrier off something that's wet. We did a switchboard and it was tripping the breaker. And this kind of blows electricians away. They get a bit freaked out. And I go, I can go in and I can fix your switchboard. And they go, it's wet. It needs a dehumidifier. It's got to dry out. It'll take days or weeks. 20 minutes with that.
So you apply it while it's wet.
You apply it while it's wet.
And it dries.
It goes in. It's heavier than the water, so it goes in. It takes the barrier. It pulls the water off. Circuit breaker comes live, and we're up and running. It's
what did you say? What Magic Lube?
Magic Lube, yeah. It's
incredible.
Yeah, it just gets. I mean, people call it all different things now, but magic lube is what it's.
The only people not using it are those who don't know about it.
Yep, liquid gold is the other one. So the magic lube, liquid gold, and that's our key tagline is the only people not using it, the ones that don't know about it. And when they do, that's where the affiliate program kicks in. It's like, okay, so how did you discover us? And often it'll be from a pool light job and the referral. And a lot of my customers, when we do pool lights for them, we give them a bottle as a gift. Try that. And they're like, oh, no, thanks, mate. I use WD-40 and Inox and, and I, yeah, okay, but just try it. Just please try it and let me know how you go. And quite often and I usually say to them, if you've got a rusty padlock or there's going to be a little bit of rust around your letterbox or something like that. And that's when you know that, it's like giving them a piece of cake that they're going to love, but they say, oh, I'll try it later.
Try it later.
Yeah.
And you probably hear back from the ones that do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we do get the ones that get quite excited, and that's where the affiliate program. So, okay, so
they want to do more with it. It's one of those things that it not just are you happy with what it does, you're so happy and blown away that it can do things that others can't, that you want to share it with others.
Yep. And our affiliate program really is it's like a team culture. I don't just want anybody. I want people that love the product so that we can do our weekly webinars and we can train them on the applications. And because people laugh when they go, what are you going to train them? And I go, when you get a guy calling you from the beach stood with prosthetic legs, that's all exciting stuff that you can train people to, because they would never know to go to that market. We get blown away with.
So it's a lubricant and a waterproofer, all in one, effectively.
Yep.
I'm still struggling to get my head around it. It's, as you keep saying, it's one of those things you've just got to go and try, because if you think about it too long, you'll come up with all the reasons why it can't do what it actually can do. So just try it. Yep.
And that's it. Just try it. And hashtag just try it, because it's a bit like Nike,
Yep.
It will have its tagline when we get a bit more emotion.
Just
try
it.
It's pretty successful in the US, but only mainly in the military and firearms. So we're now, like the farmers, they use fertilizers. And we've done a test on this. So we had a silo 2 years old. The farmer was using WD-40 on one and StrikeHold on the other. Exactly the same model. 2 years later, the one with the WD-40 had started to corrode and fall apart. The one with the StrikeHold was still like brand new. And that's because this stops the nitrates in the fertilizer stripping everything, because it puts that barrier. Now, the WD-40, it still protects, but it doesn't stop the fertilizer doing all the corrosive stuff.
A dry barrier, while it helps to lube, it's still just
it's
mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Daryl, we're out of time, but where do people get in touch with you? So let's run through the reasons they'd want to. Commercial people looking to, for pool lights with all the benefits you can offer. Brighter, cheaper, easier.
Yep.
No corrosion, will last longer. Whether you're commercial or somebody wanting to do something with your home pool. And this amazing thing called StrikeHold. How do people get in touch?
So the easiest way is this through the website. We've just got a Shopify website. It's very easy to follow and purchase.
Okay, what's the website?
And it's just www.strikehold.com.au.
That's strikehold.com.au.
Yep. So
excellent.
that's easy. We do have a full affiliate program that they can jump into from the website. And we can set them up and get them going. We can give them training. We're starting with all the training videos now. And as an accessory, if they were a bit sort of, wanting to play in the pool light space, we can actually train them to fit the pool lights, because you don't need to be a licensed electrician to fit the pool lights.
Wow.
So that's another thing. We as I said, we only really do the wet end, because we do the inserts. We're working with a lot more pool builders now, because they're coming across because,
get them in
brighter.
Before, yeah.
And we design stuff to suit. So when somebody says that can't be done, that's exactly what we have done, so that then the pool builders go, oh my God, like, how did you do that? And they just go, well, we were told it couldn't be done. So we did it.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Daryl. It really has blown my mind with so many things you mentioned there. Give me your two websites, one for Alpha LED and also for StrikeHold. Where can people get in touch with you? Where can they find out more information?
Pretty simple. All the W's, strikehold.com.au. And we've got two for Alpha, actually. We've got the www.alphaledlighting.com.au, which is ALPHA. And we've got Alpha Pool Lights as well.
.com.au.
Alpha LED Pool Lights, as well.
And they can find out about the affiliate program at StrikeHold. Everything they need to know is on all of those websites.
Yep. And they can get in touch with that. And then the StrikeHold affiliates is strikeholdaffiliates.com. So, we can then get them set up and get them going. And happy days. It's share the passion with the liquid gold and the magic lube.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Daryl.
Thanks, Adam.